it's there. I want it. I have all the ambition, but I don't have the drive and the capability to stay neutral so that the world and the laws can purify me to get to the next level. I'm holding on to the tether lines of attachment and feelings to everybody else that I love around me that I don't want to release to get into the new timeline. Therefore, you really don't want what you say you want. You just think you want it. Most men are not stuck because of lack of knowledge. They're stuck because they haven't been purified enough for the weight they keep asking for. Let's begin. The illusion of stuck is filtration in disguise. You pray for ascension, but break when compression arrives. You can't sit here and say, oh my God, I need to get this money, I need to get this car, I need to get this house, I need to get this relocation. God, please help me. But as soon as law tests you, you run away from the fucking test. You go run to weed, alcohol, and dead pussy that you keep fucking that keeps draining your energy. That's not gonna give you the energy you need to get the thing that you're looking to get. So you're running from the compression phase that's going to give you what you keep asking for. And so a lot of y'all keep running into turbulence and running into hard times. You're not actually going into hard times. You are simply being compressed. Law is observing how you operate under turbulence, not how you operate when you're in comfort. So you need to stop running for your comforts, because they are the sole reason you are not getting to the timeline that has the very thing you're asking for. If the law of vibration states that everything is moving, and you keep moving away from the very thing that's going to get you on the vibrational frequency of the thing you're asking for, you're never going to get it. You keep running from it. It is correction. It is purification. They are stripping you of the old and presenting you with the new. And when they present you with the new, they have to strip you of the old. So that hardship that you think came is exactly what it's doing. It's stripping you of what you currently know as familiar and as comfort. Why? Why do they need to do that, Mr. Brown? Because your fucking nervous system, when comfort, is not structured. When your nervous system is comforted, it's not structured. And so that comfort keeps destabilizing your nervous system. So every time that you go through a hardship, what does it do? It cracks your nervous system, but also it helps you heal. That's just how the way of the world is. You must go through pain to become stronger. That's simply what it is. Your shit must be rattled because what it's used to is not getting you to where you need to be. So, okay, law says, all right, you keep asking for it. Let me give you the fucking thing that's going to present you with hard times to stabilize you enough to get to the very thing you keep asking for. You hear me speak about it in every video. Neutrality is the only way to get what you want. You must stop reacting to this 3D external world that is filled with bullshit. You're leaning on your ego too much. You are leaning on the external factors to prove your worth to you. You are leaning on the approval of others way too much. Law is not going to abide by your rules. They create the fucking very reality you have right now. They are the sole reason you exist. So stop fighting and just obey. And simply when the turbulence comes, allow it to destroy whatever is holding you back from the very thing you want. And you must stay neutral because your mind must stay clear. You must have the vision in mind, but you have to stay neutral in your nervous system so you don't react to the hard thoughts that come in, the emotions that come in, that then lead your action, that then bring you the same fucking reality that you don't want. That's why I keep telling you, when it's time to purge people, allow it to be purged, because those very people that are in your proximity are feeding you the thoughts, the emotions that create the actions, that create the same fucking boring ass, sorry reality that you live in. So now if you remove everybody, now the only person you have to rely on is you. And if you are so serious about the thing that you want, hey, you're being purified. And all you have to do is find your way to being neutral with nobody around you now to influence your decisions. It's very easy after that. But you're so emotionally wrapped up in men and women that you can't move forward. You want brotherhood, and so you're emotionally attached to the idea of a person or a brother that is nothing like you. And so therefore you bypass their weaknesses, you hold on to them too long, and then the time or the opportunity arises for you to get the thing that you want, but you can't even see it because you haven't been purified of the fog that this fucker keeps saying into your ears. Stop putting people before the timeline that you want to be on. Allow the purification process to eradicate everything and everybody that is keeping your nervous system comforted, because your purification is the only thing that's going to garnish a reward. Law don't reward your ambition. your ability to tell people what you want out of this realm. It's going to test it and see if you can handle the purification it takes to get it. And then you're gonna get it. The fuck you running around saying you want big money, you want big house, you want big luxury life, you want big this, big that, oh da 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 da. And then law says, all right, cool, you can have it. Here, pass the test. Are you living in neutrality? Is your nervous system neutralized enough for you to purge everything around you by your own accord? Or watch it betray you and stay firm in neutrality? Because when you're under the comforts of the very thing that you have around you right now, you're not gonna move at the capacity you need to move to get to the thing. A lot of your routine, a lot of the people you talk to, a lot of the conversations you have, your ability to depend on your fucking 9-to-5 job, or your ability to depend on the goddamn car you have, or your ability to depend on people around you. You cannot operate in the same systems. The same systems that you are looking to leave, they must be destroyed so that you can take on the new system with zero residue. Zero emotional attachment, zero fractures in your foundation. And I've said it to you before, if you allow yourself in whatever category you're trying to change to operate the same way that keeps the problem there, you're never gonna get the answer. You don't get the solution to your problem in the same state that the problem was made. It never works that way. You have to leave the environment of the problem to get the solution. And usually when the solution arrives, you forget the problem even existed, because it doesn't. Where the solution lies, your problems don't. Where your problems lie, your solutions don't. Take it that way. Very easy. And you can apply that to every part of your life. You want a new car, you cannot operate the way that you operate with this car that you have. You want a new relationship, you cannot operate the same way in this relationship as the relationship that you're asking for. You want more money, new money, you cannot operate in the systems that you're garnishing this money by. You must operate in a new system, which means what? Purging of everything that keeps you comfortable in the system that you hold so dear. And that's exactly what law's watching. That is where you get the respect or the rewards that law is waiting for you to accept, by going through purification. It's just a filtration system. Is he clean enough to go to the next level? Is he clean enough to get the new car? Is he clean enough to have the new house? Is he clean enough to have the new lifestyle? Or is he gonna get the new lifestyle and then go back to the fucking egotistical ways that he just left? Is he gonna go back to the vices that he had? Is he gonna go back to feeding himself off of dopamine with the new assets? Because now, at more than ever, when you get everything that you're asking for, you're going to have the opportunity to slip back into your old timeline or your old reality. And the purpose of this purification process is to filter out all of the bullshit that you could ever possibly want to cling back to. So you're not gonna get the thing, or you're not gonna get the relationship, you're not gonna get the money until law sees that your nervous system no longer reacts to the dopamine of it all. They're not gonna destroy you. That's not what they're here for. They're not here for destruction only. They're here to protect you and give you what you asked for. Right? If you're living in existence with law, you get everything you want, but it's a very tight line. Because you can't slip out of line. Because now that you know law, it's not like you can walk around saying you didn't know. So law is just watching how you react to turbulence, or how you govern turbulence realistically. Because if you can govern turbulence and not be rattled by its presence, then you won't be rattled on the flip side. Everything has an equal and opposite reaction. So if you don't get startled while you have nothing, you realistically won't get startled when money comes around, because you know how deep and dark not having money is. So now you don't praise having everything, because you realize what nothing feels like. And if you do, here's the thing, if you do, you get brought right back down because you didn't learn the lesson. You must learn what law is trying to show you. And the laws of the realm just state that polarity, which we've gone over before, is a spectrum. So the poverty that you have and the luxury that you want to live, the wealth that you want to have, are on the same fucking spectrum. They're not independent of each other. They're on the same spectrum. And wherever you sit on the spectrum determines how you feel about the thing. But if you stay neutral, then it's just the fucking spectrum. And realistically, law is just going to try to show you the entire spectrum by giving you a purification process that shows you each level of it, and watching your reaction to each stage. And as you go up and as you mentally have wealth at the top of your mind, it's going to try to put you there by giving you all the other realms. And if you are in the middle, you're gonna have to go experience the bottom. Go feel it for a couple months. Okay, great. Now he understands what poverty looks like. Let me bring him back central again. Okay, cool. You've been central for all your life. Great. You've been comfortable. Great. Now we've seen that he can handle the poverty. He can handle being straight without any emotional distortion. And now we're gonna give him wealth. Oh yeah? You like that? Great. Oh, you liked it too much? Back down the scale we go, because clearly you didn't learn how to fucking just appreciate it and stay neutral. So it's going to bring you back into a place of neutrality until you are there for good. And now you can operate in any realm, at any law, at any time. And no fucking dopamine rushes, no different in your rhythm. You still step in accordance for where you're trying to go. Those little periods where it's testing your ability to stand still in whatever part of the spectrum in any category that you're standing in, that's what's stopping your ascension. You keep running from the stillness. The delay is not denial. It's compression stabilization. Your life is just being compressed to stabilize you. Anything that's just walking willy-nilly and going with the flow will never have an ascension period in their life. They're going to live the same mundane life they always have been living and die that way. Why? Because they're not fucking able to deal with the purification that comes with seeking true wealth in law. This isn't wealth within your system, because you can perform like a fucking monkey and have all of the riches if you'd like, but it's not gonna last long because you're not fucking stabilized to hold it, one, and two, you're still performing for money. I'm a sovereign man. You are looking to be a sovereign man. You will have to be built in stillness. You have to be built in silence. This is not a performative act. This is what it is. You are in law. That means you live in law. You live in accordance to your purification and your filtration. And your energetic field will expand well beyond what you thought it could ever. And you will get everything that you desire in this realm because you've lived up to the laws of the realm. You passed every test, you followed every rule, you didn't break. Even when you were tired, sick, confused, you stayed in place and still focused on the mission. Good, now we're going to give you the throne, and hopefully you keep up with the fuck you've been doing. Do not get all skittish when you start to get what you want. That is the real test. Because you can pass the poverty shit. You can pass the hardship. The hardship is just gonna play with your fucking ego. Who cares? If you've had an ego death before, you know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. Let that shit come and go. Who cares? Now it's, how does your ego react when your ego gets everything it used to want? For the wrong reasons, but now you have it. Is it gonna resurface, or are you gonna stay neutral? Or do we have to take it all back and let you go through the process again? When you hit neutrality and you pass the neutral test, velocity ensues almost immediately. Things start to work in your favor very quickly. Doors start to open. Wealth corridors present themselves. Men that are aligned with you and where you are now start to present themselves. Women want you at a different level because they are aligned with you. You no longer need to chase the things that you used to want. They just come. Your energy levels have hit a space where the world must bend to your every command. And that only stays at that level of power if you continue to follow law. This is a spiritual warfare that you are fighting. If you follow law, you win. If you don't, you crumble and lose to the system. And you will be trapped in that bitch. This is a spiritual warfare, and a lot of it is going to be directed at yourself or your past self, because you are now asking to jump into a new timeline. To get into a new timeline, you must have no attachments to your old one, which means old system, old friends, old ideologies, old ways of making money, old labor, old everything has to be stripped. You must be emptied. You ever heard, oh, you had to die first to then be resurrected? Yeah, that's literally what happens in your life every time you ask for something. We are sending you a fucking message. destroy your current timeline so that you can ascend to the new one. How the fuck you gonna be what you gonna play the duality and be like, yeah, I lived in this timeline and I also live in this one? That's how the fucking world works. You gotta pick one. And whichever one you pick, you gotta be fucking purified for it. If you wanna stay in the one you are, get rid of the idea of having a fucking different timeline, because now all you're doing is masturbating in your brain. Mental masturbation. Ooh, it's there. I want it. I have all the ambition, but I don't have the drive and the capability to stay neutral so that the world and the laws can purify me to get to the next level. I'm holding on to the tether lines of attachment and feelings to everybody else that I love around me that I don't want to release to get into the new timeline. Therefore, you really don't want what you say you want. You just think you want it. So get rid of the fucking timeline so that you can live your comfortable life happily. There's nothing wrong with staying in the current timeline where you don't get what you want. You just need to get rid of the thought of having what you want. Or tap into getting rid of all the tether lines that keep you in place. Get rid of all your attachment, all your feelings, all of the things become empty, become neutralized. What do people call when they're on an army target and they're looking for their target? And then they call in the hit because they finally did what? They neutralized the target. They killed the target. Death was brought upon the target. Death was brought upon your current position, so now you can ascend. Point blank, period. It don't get no more clear than that. If there's anything you want to take away from this video today, is make sure that you are purging your current environment if you're looking to tap into something new. A new timeline, a new car, a new house, a new girl, a new whatever. Get rid of everything in your current timeline so that you can be ascended into the new timeline. And when turbulence comes, stay neutral. You're not waiting on God. You're not waiting on timing. Law is waiting for you to stop collapsing every time compression tightens.